Hey folks, welcome back to another HP Gaming GameLINK video. We have another unboxing for you today. It is one of our Kickstarters and it has just arrived, so we're very excited about that. Today we are going to be heading down into the depths, defeating some monsters and looking for all sorts of loot as we explore Dungeon Drop, Drop Too Deep, Tavern Tales and the Treasure Trunk. Hey folks, welcome back. For those of you who don't know me, and you should by now, my name is Matt, and I am very excited for a number of reasons. First of all, we are unboxing a Kickstarter today, which is always awesome, and we've also just crossed over 200 subs on our YouTube channel, so thank you very much. Thank you to our Patreons for your support and getting us out there. It's a small milestone, but it's a step in the right direction, so thank you for your support. As I said at the tease, we are going to be having a look at Dungeon Drop's Treasure Trunk, Dropped Too Deep, and the Tavern Tales expansion, which are included in this big, awesome storage solution, the complete add-on bundle. Now, this also came with some play mats and some dungeon mats and dungeon walls, so you can set up your dungeon and carry on. Now, I will say as well, I am sounding a little bit unlike myself, and that is because I am currently in isolation awaiting test results, which is why I'm doing this on my own, rather than having my lovely Kittywinks helping out with this. Charlotte is a massive fan of Dungeon Drop. If you are feeling symptomatic by any means, please do the right thing, go and get tested, and make sure you do your part for the community. Having said that, folks, look, I'm getting excited to get into this and see what all the fuss is about inside there, and also get into the other goodies that we've got in store, maybe one or two other surprises as well. So let's get out of the table and we'll show you what's inside this awesome box. And there it is in all its stunning, glorious and fantastic art on the Treasure Trunk. Now, I will say too, this is going to be followed up by Drop Drive, which is the next big game that Phase Shift are going to be doing. I believe, well, they've basically said, look, hey, get on board, help us out with the shipping shenanigans pack to help subsidize shipping costs for this game, and also for Drop Drive, you get a little something extra as well. They have done exceptionally well to combat what has been an insane shipping crisis. But look, without further ado, I believe, well, I don't know exactly how it's going to be presented, but let's have a look inside the box. I am going to rip off the shrink on this one. I did pre-cut a little bit, so we'll get that off there. Get a bit of camera shake. Plastic goes on the floor. And here is the Treasure Trunk in all its stunning, stunning glory. Let's lift the lid and find out how deep the rabbit hole truly goes. It is quite, not a heavy box, but it's quite snug. And as you can see, it fills the frame, which is huge. There we go, very carefully. Wow, what an unlidding. I love that. Now, it's interesting to note too, that the rulebook for Drop Too Deep, which is the expansion, which I might even open first, came separate from the rest of it. I don't know why they did that. It was interesting, it was sort of separate. You know, we've got a kit that had the mats and everything else. We've also got some sleeves of protection for the game. Sleeve away, me matey, sleeve away. And this is basically for, you know, the different packs that are required for the game. More plastic on the floor. But yeah, for some reason they shipped the rulebook separately outside of the box. I don't know why they did that. Who knows? Oh no, that's right, there was a reprint. They had to do it separately because it was already packed, so they had to do some reprinting, and that's why the rulebook has been set separate. So this has been sent separately or packed separately. So this one is, yeah, it's a separate rulebook. So that's gonna be the real one. The one that we'll see inside the box is not going to be the final product. Pop that down there. Okay, so this is a wonderful little storage solution for Dungeon Drop. So there's a space here for the Dungeon Drop Deluxe game that I've got. Mwah, fantastic. I do love this. It's going to look fantastic on the shelf. And what I love is they've got these game trays I don't think they're officially game trays. They're Phase Shift's version of said trays, but they're a storage solution. So you can store all your bits, chits, cubes. You can separate them all out, which I absolutely adore. I think that's absolutely fantastic. Phase Shift, this is bloody fantastic. I knew it would look good. I did not think it would look that great. So they've got your dual component trays there. I think there's 2 on each. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets. So 10 different component trays. And they look absolutely wonderful. The silica gel, always a lovely treasure to find inside the box. Don't eat that, whatever you do. Very important rule, do not eat. Now that that's out of the way, we have all sorts of goodies and punch outs and things up here, cards and whatever else. Now I believe, I'm going to go through these first. So these are your dividers. So if I take this little bit of paper off here, I can rip that off there. More rubbish for the floor. So you've got your class cards that you can separate in there, group goals, huge monsters, quests, races, rules and aids, and spells, which is obviously for the new Wizards and Spells expansion, which is hiding in here. I love it. It's great. What I should do is get the other box out. I might leave those till later, so I can pop all those in there as well. Wow, I'm excited. Okay, let's get into some boxes. We've got Tavern Tales here. We've got the Wizards and Spells, but this is what we're here for. This is Dungeon Dropped Too Deep, which is a whole new box. All sorts of crazy that are in here. This is officially an expansion, but obviously if you have a storage solution like this, which is awesome, it just makes things a little bit easier to store. So let's get into our friend here. Trusty pocket knife at the ready, more plastic for the floor, and it is just, look at this Goblin King dude. The artwork, the cartoon nature of the artwork looks awesome. Oh my gosh, the foil print's nice too. So let's get rid of that. So again, the camera won't do it justice, but the foil on this is awesome. I love that. I apologize too. Oh, they've foiled the rocks, the lava rocks. There's tubular stuff. This guy here's like a Balrog sort of looking dude. And there's a beholder. Oh my gosh. Okay. Very excited. I do apologize for the noise in the other room too. Obviously, being an ISO, I've basically got one half the house. It's mine at the moment. I do like as well the interior of the box always has a little something extra. Oh, and there's like a little Cthulhu guy as well. I love that. I keep forgetting what was included in the pack, only because there is so much that went on in terms of backing and upgrades and voting on things and all the rest of it. So, oops, I'm dropping things everywhere. I better be very careful. Let's take all this out here. What? Oh my gosh. So there is also... again, similar to the original game, the interior of the box has all been lit up as well. So what I'm going to do is put that in there, like that, and then I can load them in. Oh, more of our special ingredient, silica gel. We do not want to get rid of that. We have a little advertisement for something else coming soon, Drop Drive. A very successful Kickstarter campaign, lots of crazy stuff and then extra bits and pieces as well, which we'll put to the side there. We have the rulebook, which we know is not the actual rulebook, but another rulebook of the same. So we'll pop that up there. And then we've got some punch outs. Now these look like solo spelunking mode, phase shift icons, and then you've got these cool little cartoon caricature dudes that represent the new characters that you can play as in the game. Now the chipboard is the same style of chipboard, so it matches the same game. It does the job, makes a good noise. That's all fine. I have no issues with that whatsoever. In fact, while we're here, let's just punch them all out. Those guys look cool. Again, artwork, bloody fantastic. I love it. And on the back, you've got the same. Then we've got some classes and races, because the different characters you can play as are represented by different fantastical creatures and other bits and pieces as well. Now, if I talk about a component and I call it by the wrong name, I apologize. As I said, there was so much going on in the Kickstarter. It's very hard to remember exactly what was going on. So let's have a look here. We'll separate these out. We'll go through these cards. We have, these are characters. So these are the Dark Mander, which you saw in there as well. Unlock secrets. You can flick a forbidden pillar. He has 4 health. The Infernal has more health. Collect a treasure within. And then you've got the Lavaling. Take 1 damage to flick a cube. The Lurkman, flick a consumable treasure. Moleman, flick 2 cubes of different types that are outside the dungeon boundary. Ooh. Shapeshifter, draw 2 race cards. You may use one of their abilities immediately, then shuffle the cards back into the deck. That's interesting, and the initiative is quite high as well. So we'll pop those in there. I'm going to have a bit of a sleeving and sorting session pretty much as soon as we're done. Let's have a look here. I think these are turn bits and pieces. So player aids, which is awesome. We might even keep those separate in there for now. And then if I turn these over, we have a Molten Shield card, which gives you 2 health in Golf. If unattached, attach the closest small or large monster. The monster deals double damage. Stash counts as a magic shield while in your stash. Wow, that's a bit of a special bonus if you can get it off the creature that's wearing it. Let's hope the dragon doesn't have that on, because that would be nasty. So we've got a couple of different quest cards in here, or challenge cards maybe, if that's what they are. And they look like some nasty monster cards. So I've got here some red ones, which are the traditional quest cards. As per the base game, the Arbiter's Alliance, different score values per each one. The Arcanist Adventure, Gilded Grimoire, Glittering Gambit, Highborn Heist, Pink and Blue Gem score 0. You only want the big ones. Illusionist Intent, Prismatic Purse, Scrapper's Salvage, Seer's Sight, Slayer's Stun. You can always pause if you want to read the different ones here. Terrible Trophies and Trader's Talent. Redrop any number of treasure of one type from your stash. Collect an equal number of treasure of one type left in the dungeon. Ooh. I do like me some messing with people. That's kind of cool. All right, so these ones here, I think are, well, let's see, I don't know. There could be different conditions, different quests, different challenges, maybe. I don't know. I can't remember. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. So, sorry, these are group goals. That's a G. And that's a group achievement, I guess, that you're trying to work towards as a co-op, I think, event. So you've got an Ancient Arena, huge monster without using Magic Shield or Molten Shield, or 2 huge monsters. Arcane Antechamber, so you've got to form either 2 armor in there. Banished Bestiary, X huge monsters are in the hero kill piles, where X is no. Carnivorous Campsite. Charge Chamber, use 3 consumables of different types during your turn. Diabolical Den, Diamond Doorway, Grisly Guard Room, Healer's Hall, Luminous Laboratory, the Minion Maze, 3 small monsters, Perilous Prison, Putrid Pit, Rose Ruin, so either 3 pink gems in one room or 5 pink gems in your stash. Sapphire Storeroom, Studded Steps, the Thieves' Throne, a Treasure Trove, Vast Vault. So yeah, different group goals that you'll need to work towards to complete their nefarious ends. Well, not nefarious, because you're the one doing the dungeon delving. Then we've got here what looks like monster cards for this adventure, and they look quite nasty, and they've got the different back to let you know they are from Dropped Too Deep. The Arch Lich. Now, I love these because there's going to be cubes in there that represent these characters. So remember these faces. The Chaos Cube. Colossal Contraption. What? Cube Thulu. There he is. 10 health. Wow. If it lands face up, all heroes flip 1 class card face down if able. The Cyclops. Look at him. He's so cute. The Dragon. We know all about that guy. The Evil Eye. Sorry, not the Beholder. The Flame Demon. And the Giant Gelatinous Cube, the Goblin King, and then the Lava Kraken. Right. I'm pretty sure they're going to be incredibly hard to defeat, but that's okay. We don't mind. Let's have a look. So we've got here, again, correct me, stop me if I get things wrong. I'm pretty sure that this one here is the Giant Gelatinous Cube, because it's twice the size of the original gelatinous cubes in the other game. So we'll just take him out, and it's got some viscousness in there, kind of like the inside of my nose, which is kind of gross for me to say, so my apologies for that. We'll pop him away. Let's have a look at these item cards. These are classes. So you've got the Arcanist, the Armorer, the Booby Trapper, that sounds nice, the Bounty Hunter, the Cook, look at all the Cook Cultist, Demolitionist. What does the Cook do? I need to know what the Cook does. What's the Cook's special ability? I love this sushi and stuff there. Monster Stew. Redrop 2 small monsters or 1 large monster from your kill pile to heal 3 damage. Each other damaged hero must give you 1 treasure from their stash to heal 1 damage if they can. Okay, that's alright. Enchanter. We had the Monk, the Necromancer, Reanimate Corpses, Relic Bound, Spelunker, the Timer Mage, and of course a Witch. That's nice and cool. So, have we got extras in here then? Solo rulebook. Okay. So some of the components that we might look at might be relating to solo play, which is what this little package is all about. I have to be careful because I nearly stabbed myself in the hand, which would not be great at all. More plastic for the floor. There was a lot of plastic today, which is fine. We don't mind plastic. Plastic is fine. We got some cards, more cards. Now these are specifically relating to solo play as far as I'm aware. You've got the Dungeon Drop rulebook in case because it's an updated rulebook from Drop Too Deep with new variances and plays and things as well, which is cool. And then you've got the Solo Spelunker rulebook, because now it used to be one single leaflet, or it was in the back of the main rulebook, so now they've separated it out to give it a bit more detail and flesh out that solo play just a little bit more. How you exit the level, move down a level, that sort of stuff, which is cool. And I think these are cards that have been fixed since the original Dungeon Drop game. Collector's Curiosity, yes, they have Fool's Folly, the Gear Golem, the High Elf, Stonekin, the Wood Elf, the Boblin, and then you've got the Adept, the Archer, the Bard, the Beastmaster, Cleric, the Mage, and the Rope Master. So yes, these are updated cards from the original game, which is very, very awesome. I'm very much appreciative of that. Now, in these little packs, what have we got here? We've got some fluoro-y, orangey folk in here with some lovely, sparkly, glittery bits. Very nice and shiny. Very much like the other crazy... it's very much like a pandemic style cube, if that makes sense. But they've got this orangey glitter there. So they are molten shields. So these are similar to the shields from the base game, but also those molten shields that we saw earlier. So you just need to make sure that they are either included or make sure they're near a monster, because the monster will put that molten shield on. But they will give you some crazy, crazy benefits as we go along. And then we've got these red cubes, which I think are pillars. Now, I know the pillars in the base game were silver, but these ones are like this dark red color, which is, again, they've got a nice sheen to them. Yeah, so these are, as I said, forbidden pillars, because you've dropped too deep into the dungeon, which makes sense. And I think they replace the pillars from the base game, so they obviously make a bit more of a mess in the dungeon as you move things around, trying to collect the best loot and the best treasure. But I like that molten style, that's quite nice. And we've got some meeples, we've got some other bits and pieces here. These are the meeples for the characters that you saw, the races, I should say, that we had earlier. There's health markers and things in there, which will come through in a moment. But first things first, I hope that didn't just spill out everywhere. These meeples are chunky as, and I love that. These are so good. There's the lava ling as well. Look at those guys. Ready for action. And you can see that, as I said, they're quite chunky meeples. The screen printing is fine. They look good. I'm tempted to keep them in the bag, but for now, I'm just going to pop them in there. And inside here, we've got all the other goodies. So we've got, let's just separate this out, and hopefully I won't spill anything, because I'm likely to lose things, which is not ideal. My goodness, there's so much content. So you've got these little heart trackers, which are, just little wooden heart shapes, which is fine. I'm going to put those to the side. I'll put them back in the box. And then we've got the different enemies. So our red dragon friend from the base game. Now, we got a metallic dragon in Dungeon Drop in the deluxe version, so we'll be using him, but this one's very cool as well. We've got little, what looks like little bits of armor here as well. So maybe they're like the relic cubes from the base game as well, which is awesome. Little armor cubes, like very, very tiny, but that's okay. We don't mind that. And then we've got here the, this is the Lich from from earlier. Again, nice size cubes, but I just love the artwork on the sides. Little tiny evil face staring up at you, which is awesome. I've got another one of those little armor cubes there, heaps of hearts. And there's the Chaos Cube we saw before, which very much looks like a portal cube, but that's okay. We've got here, this is the Cyclops, who's staring up at you. Look at the little horns poking out. He's awesome. He's cute. He's cute. We have the Goblin King, who is looking nice and angry there. Very much like the Boblins, but obviously with a crown, which is cool. Then you've got this crazy little automaton dude. Now, I believe little moblins and stuff, or goblins, can sit on top of him and pilot this thing around. This is the automaton that we saw a little earlier. Then we've got, what have we got here? The Evil Eye, which is nothing like another creature from a role-playing game at all. But this is the Evil Eye, and he will hunt you down and smash you in the face because that's his job. We have got the Molten Dragon, which we saw as the main villain on the box. He looks pretty nasty there. Molten Dragon, I think that's what we called it. I don't know, huge monsters anyway. Nasty business, absolutely nasty business. We've got the Lava Kraken, who is ready to absolutely chow down on all of the adventurers that go into those depths looking for trouble. And then lastly, we have Cube Thulu. Look at him. Oh, he looks so mean, but at the same time, he's an absolute softie. Doesn't want you to go mad at all. I love that, and especially, you know, if you if you roll him into the dungeon and he comes in face up, yeah, messy business, because he will, you know, damage everybody and cause them to do all sorts of crazy stuff. Let's pop all these guys back in here. We're going to get this out of the way, and then we're going to open up Tavern Tales, which is a brand new game set in this same universe. And then we'll come out and talk about the rest of the components. So we've got the wizards, and then of course these other little bits and pieces in here as well. So give me a moment. In fact, you know what? We're just going to keep rolling along because that's just how we roll. Now the Tavern Tales box, it's very much you know, who's the biggest bragger as to who's going to win. I'm not 100% familiar with the game itself, but at the same time, I did try and get a playthrough online, and yeah, I don't know. It's going to take some learning, but that's what happens with most games. So let's rip off the shrink. Oh, so much shrink. So I do like the idea that, excuse me, you could play Dungeon Drop, then Dungeon Drop to 2 Deep as a second round, and then get into Tavern Tales to brag about everything you did in Dungeon Drop. And it's like a game session of 3 games, but at the same time, it's a complete quest, a complete campaign, if you will. Legends of Dungeon Drop, and I do like the fact that even the tavern mugs are cubes, which is just so cool. And then you got all the different aspects of the tavern on the side, which is awesome. We'll pop that there. And then we've got, oh my goodness, all sorts of goodies. We have a collection of course, more gel on the floor. There is a ton of stuff in here. There is a rule book, which if I can get it out here, there's just so much stuff in here. So the rule book talks about what happens, how the game works, etc. The rows, how to play, matching spells, set collecting, all that sort of stuff, which is just awesome. And then we have a whole host of other components in here as well. So we've got what looks like some mugs in this one here for the 5 players. Now, I believe these also act as, you know, prestige tokens, active player tokens, things like that. But they've got a nice little feel to them, little mugs of ale, which is awesome. So we're going to pop those back in their bag so we don't lose any because they are very small and very fragile. Then we've got a whole ton of coasters, what looks like more punch outs and more other bits and pieces. Oh my gosh, there's heaps of stuff. And then absolute ton of cards. And as you can see, the interior of the box has that same style of comic artwork, but I'd love it. It's all tankards and ales and things as well, which is just awesome. I'm digging it. I'm absolutely digging it. It's fantastic. All right, so we've got cards galore. Let's have a look through these. We'll burn through these quick sticks because we've still got another box to open within this box. And then the other goodies as well. And I'm conscious of time. And my voice is going to give out more plastic on the floor. So we've got what looks like bragging cards here. Hero cards, maybe, depending on what they are. We'll put those to the side. And then we've got some loot cards, maybe? Loots or feats. And they go all the way through. Lots of feats. Okay, so let's go through those. So the feats talks about different gold. So if you get 7 of the 7 total, and for every one you've got different effects. I'm assuming that's how that works. Treasure chests. So these are all for set collecting and for bragging. Blue gems. Pink gems, so they're all things you can actually find in the base game, and obviously in Drop Too Deep as well. Clear gem, so if you brag and say I had this many, then you get those point values if you manage to collect all those as you're bragging around the tavern. Royal quests that you've completed, goblins that you've killed, trolls that you've killed, the dragon, there's only one of those, the relic, collecting relics, collecting mimics. Okay, so if you have multiples, they're worth -2 points. 2 or add to a gem stack for a crystal golem. Boss armor. Oh, that's cool. Again, I like they're all cubes as well. Gelatinous cube. 1 and adventure power. Secret doors that you've found. Magic bolts. Potion of stamina. And then a dragon egg. If you have just 1, it is worth 6 points. Any more than that will get you negative points. Ooh. There's a bit of take that action involved here, and I kind of dig that. Let's see, we've got some feats. So, sorry, heroes cards. So these are different heroes, I think, that you can collect. So Specialist Dwarf. And I think you'll find these are the races that you can play as in the game. Stonekin, yes, we saw him before. A gnome. Again, the artwork is just awesome. There's a Sleth. Look at him with that goblin, wrapping him up. The Ishim. The Wood Elf, Human, Boblin, very happy to be involved, Fairy, then you've got Hawkman, half an Orc, Charlotte plays a half Orc in D&D, so she'll want those ones, Gear Golems, Shadow Folk, High Elf, Draglinkin, Moleman, Lurkman, Larvaling, Infernal, Darkmander, and Shapeshifter, and I'm assuming this is only for 3+ players. And of course, those are the characters we saw in the new game. Then we've got some coasters and things here. So these are room tiles that get shuffled up, and I'm assuming you go exploring to replicate what's happened on your adventure. So you've got an ancient arena here, arcane antechamber, and there's a bonus prestige marker on that one. Diabolical den, the diamond doorway, luminous laboratory. So these are similar to the group effects cards we saw in Dropped Too Deep. So the games have been made in tandem, I guess. You've got Rose Ruins there. You've got the Studded Steps, the Thieves' Throne, and the Vast Vault that we saw before, which is just awesome. And then over here, we've got what looks like a first player marker or active player token. Again, those cubed steins that we saw. And I think that's that prestige marker we were talking about earlier. So that can go back in there. In fact, I'll pop that on top. This one can go away. And then we've got some crazy tokens, which looks like they have score tiles and things on them. So let's get, oh, there's 2 stacks. That's good. All right, so let's go. We've got, so you've got what looks like scoring tracks here. Or tracking your prestige or your points, which is fine. And then on the reverse, endless drop. So I think this is, you can basically play with an unlimited mode, endless mode. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know if this is a solo mode, if you're doing endless dropping as a solo mode here. And then we've got what looks like some other tiles with a recess on them. They must be for the room tiles to go in. So you've got here what looks like caverns, inferno, catacombs, mineshaft, ice caves. However, on the front of the ice caves, there's a little dual-layered card for those round tiles to sit into. So if I was to grab, say, this tile here, and you then flip it over, not knowing what it is, you've got the Vast Vault. Okay, so that now sits inside there, which is very, very handy. I like that. Good way to keep everything all together. Ice caves, mineshaft, catacombs, inferno, caverns. So yeah, I think it must be that there's different effects and things that, I don't know, it depends on how the game is played. Again, I'm not 100% sure on this one. But that is the contents of Tavern Tales, which looks pretty exciting, pretty interesting, very much a set collection slash chaotic game of bluffing. But I kind of dig that. Especially the art on it. Again, the art's fantastic. Digging it very much. All right, we've got here, this is the Wizards and Spells for Dungeon Drop. So you can enchant your dungeon. Yes, please. Very much love that. So let's get into this one and we'll see what it's all about. We've got a few extra bits in here. Again, more plastic on the floor. I wonder if we will find a special... Oh, there it is. There is a silica gel thing in there. Magic and magic and magic and more magic. I love this little box. It's very cute. I'm digging it. All right, so we've got tokens and magic and other bits and pieces. We've got a cute little bag in here for all the wizards. I love that embroidery. That looks really cool. The art looks really nice. The rule book, which is going to tell you how it all works. Darkness has fallen, etc. Game setup changes, gameplay changes, etc. Things you can include, what happens during the course of the game, final outcome, that sort of stuff as well. And then you've got in here, what else we got? We've got, looks like some more cards and some tokens and other bits and pieces. So let's get those out if I can. Oops, they're stuck in there a little bit. There we go. So we have cards galore. We'll keep the tokens and things to last. So these, I think, are spell cards that you can use to... oh, there's a round structure, so you know exactly how it goes. Player aids, lots of player aids. Interesting. So the player aids are actually doubling as those cards. So on the back, you've got a spell. Quake, hold a game card over Quake. Gather all other cubes and meeples under the card and redrop them over Quake. Snare, command, siphon. Oh, so they're all represented by a cube. That's interesting. Shock, charm, warp, petrify, and doomgate. Sure, nice and easy. That's fine. So I think you got the spell cards that are there, and they correspond to different things. So this one is your, what was that one? Petrify, so you can stop things from moving. And again, the chipboard on those is quite nice. You've got a 5th turn marker for a 5th player, another phase shift token, and then a little, I think it's for the solo mode. I'm not entirely sure. Turn order, scoring token, etc. Things like that, which is kind of cool. I do like when they've got the extra space on the board. They've got, they've used, or on chipboard, sorry, they've used phase shift icons, so it just sort of promotes their own business, which is very, very cool. I'm digging that. Oops, don't drop that in there. I just dungeon dropped it into the treasure trunk. All right, we've got here, this is the extra pieces that we talked about. There's the extra meeple, a nice purple color. I know that that's something that will be well and truly utilized at our table, because purple is one of our favorite colors. The heart-shaped tokens. Let's get rid of the heart-shaped tokens, and then we'll look at all the different cubes, spell cubes, that are going to get dropped. So let's see. I love these. They're so good and so intricately detailed. So we have Doomgate, and then you've got Petrify, Warp is here, and all the different spell cubes, depending on what they are. Charm is in there somewhere with the love heart. But they've got that nice, really nice feel. They make that good sound when they're dropped. And they just look really, really good. And I'm going to add that a little bit extra complexity to the game. And obviously, I think you are placing the spells in here and drawing them out at random at the start of the game, which is kind of good too. I really dig that. All right, so that takes care of the 3 big boxes and the big box itself. I'm just going to pop that one there for now. And now we've got a few extra bits and pieces here. So we've had a look at the dividers, but here we have an extra card for Tavern Tales. So when you buy the treasure trunk, you get a few extra goodies. So we have what looks like, I should have kept the boxes open, an extra card, 5, and all others get -1 if you have the Flame Demon, if you've defeated the Flame Demon. And then we've got here a few extra cards for your races, classes, that sort of stuff. We've got a new, this is a class, I think this one, the Pyromancer, combustible, or combustion, sorry. Place 1 damage token on all huge monster cards or all other heroes with 3 or more current health and take 1 damage. Ouch. And then we've got here what looks like a few extra little game modes. This is a lockpick toolkit. Ooh, interesting. I'm going on a lockpicking adventure, which I kind of dig. we have got what looks like, oh, a lockpicking card, the treasure trial, how to activate it, the lockpick toolkit and how to activate it. So I imagine that if you go through a lockpicking thing, start here, move your cube 1, 2, 3 along the way, you can open the treasure pool and you can choose to take either the gold or maybe both. I don't know. We'll see how we go. It's a treasure trial. And there's rules for solo modes there as well. That's kind of cool. I'm loving the different modes. There is so many different modes of play. And then with the treasure toolkit, you've got the extra cubes for the treasure chest as well. Now in the base game, you had to find a key and a treasure. And at the end of the game, you use a key to unlock the treasure chest, you roll it, and then whatever pips come up is the number of extra points you get. So you could potentially get 1 or you potentially get 6. But they look fantastic. And then just in case you don't remember what that was like from the original game, they've got that nice feel, nice colour, and they stand out quite a bit, which is fabulous as well. So that's all the components. We've gone through everything in the box. Oh no, we haven't. We missed one last thing. How could I forget? I didn't forget. I'm just kidding. This crazy bits and pieces here. We have got what looks like a few extra cubes for our friends that our friends at Phase Shift Games have included here. So this is another, I think, another gold dragon. No, this is the molten dragon cube. Now this is a metallic version. See, look at his little feet. I love that. It's so cute. Got these gorgeous little eyes and things, and you've got the flames and things on the top there. Horns on the side with his hands holding the swords. More swords. I almost don't want to use it. Like, it's a thing of beauty. I don't want to damage it. It's cute little tail. All on fire there. The molten dragon. It just looks the business, and that cube. I mean, if in the deluxe version of Dungeon Drop that we got with the Kickstarter exclusives, we had a metallic dragon cube, as I mentioned earlier, which is awesome. And in this one, in this last little baggie, we have a pewter Tavern Tales mug. So this is going to be awarded to the winner. There might be special rules for it. I don't know. It just looks fantastic. I want to take a shot out of it, but I'm not really going to get a lot in there. It's very tiny. It's got dragon scales. The handle is textured. I'm a tactile person, and this is just fabulous. Look at him. He's so happy to be here. Unless maybe someone's attacked the dragon and turned him into a stein. I don't know. Maybe that's how it goes with the story. There's spines on the back. It looks brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. I love this. I love it. It's so good. The attention to detail on these things is amazing. We talked about the sleeves. We talked about the boxes. We talked about the trays for all the components, which is brilliant. The only other thing we did get is some dungeon walls, because dropping cubes and things can be a very crazy process, and we have in the past had to build all of ours out of Lego, which is not a problem. We like doing it. It's good fun. But we've also got the dungeon mats. So we've got 2 of these to make a nice big dungeon area. So what I'm going to do, apart from showing you that there's the Dungeon Drop logo in the back, and you've got the torch light and everything else as well, I am going to set it up and get a nice big wide shot, which should appear on screen right about now. And then I'll show you what it looks like when it's all set up, because it will just look quite spectacular. Let's come out and talk about our first impressions of Drop Too Deep and Tavern Tales, and then we'll go from there and see what happens in the future. So there you have it, folks, the contents of Dungeon Drop, the treasure trunk, Dropped Too Deep, Tavern Tales, and of course the big dungeon mats and the arena as well, the dungeon walls, that sort of stuff. And of course the Wizards and Spells expansion as well. There is so much going on in this box. I'm not going to lie, this is just the lid because it is quite heavy, but I wanted to show you something else. The inside of this one has some crazy artwork here. You've got obviously the Molten Dragon. There's all the different guys around the outside here as well. And I cannot believe I didn't look at the inside of the lid. The detail these guys have gone to with the box. Mwah, beautiful. They've knocked it out of the park. It's fantastic. Dungeon Drop, when we first got the original game, was something that hit the table on a regular basis, and it has been shelved, but we do bring it out from time to time when we're showing off games in our catalogue to prospective gamers to bring them into the gamer army. It is a game that plays very quickly, and we got a measuring tape so you can measure out the rooms and things so you know what you're looting and things like that, but it does have this element of take that to it as well when you're trying to score the rooms and score the most loot. This is going to add not just 2 new games to it or an expansion and a new game, but also 2 expansions, because you've got the Wizards and Spells, extra play modes, extra little bits and pieces that just add a little bit extra to the game, the solo game mode, the reworked solo and base game modes. It's just going to be fantastic, and I cannot wait to get this to the table to set it all up. I think, I don't know, if you've played this one, let us know in the comments below what your favourite component is, what's your favourite huge monster, how many huge monsters have you defeated. If you are still waiting for this one due to the shipping crisis, by all means, please be patient, the wait will be over soon. Jason and his team at Phase Shift have done such an amazing job to try and make this the most amazing game it can possibly be. Along with that, they've added in so much more content than we could ever have hoped for, and that, my friends, is going to make this fantastic game even greater. Cannot wait for Drop Drive. That's going to be something to look forward to in the not too distant future. Until then, folks, thank you very much to our Patreon subscribers. Thank you to you for watching this video. If you haven't already, smash that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with everything we do here at HB Gaming GameLink, and we'll see you back at the table very, very soon. Until then, though, it is bye for now.